All right, so welcome everybody. I'm excited to have you here. I'm excited to talk to you guys more tonight about coaching. I'm going to go ahead and play the slides. If at any point you have questions, there's a chat bar in the group. Go ahead and ask any questions, and I will either get them as we're going or catch them at the end. But I wanted to welcome you all and really just introduce myself to get started. My name is Megan Blinka, for those of you who may not know. I have been coaching now. This is my 36th month. So 3 years ago, I joined my first challenge group and pretty much got hooked. It was about 16 days after I started my actual group itself. I was like, you know what? I need to get this discount I hear people talking about. And it was like a week later, I got my first round of 21 day fix results and started sharing it with other people, where I realized that there was more to this. And when it started as just something I shared with my friends and family, it grew to so much more. And now I am proud to say I'm a 5-star diamond, 2-time elite coach, leader of my One Fit fam. I am a wife. I have 2 kids, Colton and Aubrey, and I'm a former CPA accountant. Now, you by no means need any sort of college background, any specialty in any form, but that was where I started from. It's been 4 years since I left that field. It's crazy. As of January, it's pretty exciting. We actually ranked our team 56 in the entire network of almost 500,000 coaches, which is pretty darn incredible. And I just think that needs to be clear that that's not me. That's our team. And when those rankings come out, it has everything to do with, not just what I've been able to do, but I've been able to teach and share my team to do. So I'm proud to say that we are starting off 2017 on a strong foot. That's for sure. I started with 21 Day Fix, but really since then I've gone on to complete pretty much every program that's come out. I never did go back and complete the oldies like the original Insanity or the original P90X, although I dabbled in both of those at different points in time. I've done pretty much everything since. I will continuously go back to the 21 Day Fix. I love that program. I don't know if it's just because the simplicity of the daily 30 minutes or if it was the first thing that got me results, but I continue to throw rounds of 21 Day Fix in between everything. But I've also done the Fix Extreme, T25, Insanity Max 30, PIO. I'm actually back to doing PIO right now. I've done that one several times as well. And then Quarter Force, which is our latest program that came out in the fall, and that's another favorite of mine. But I really got hooked from a nutrition standpoint as well as the accountability of everything. I had Crohn's disease, and I guess I technically still have it. It's not necessarily something that goes away, but if anyone ever been through any sort of like IBS or digestive issues, it can really run your life. And after 7 years of taking medicine daily, I was able to overcome it, not just through the Shakeology or the workouts or the nutrition, but it was a combination of everything. And when I learned how to treat my body right, I saw those symptoms diminish. Not that I'm claiming that it's a cure for anything, but I wholeheartedly believe in the lifestyle that we promote as Beachbody coaches and just what we're able to share with other people. So that is my first 3-year journey in a nutshell. And I really wasn't someone who got into this business because I was like, oh, I'm going to run this incredible business. Like that wasn't it at all. It was really, I was a mom that kind of found herself along the way and realized there's a lot of other people out there that can benefit from this in some form or fashion, whether it's from the accountability, it's kept me accountable for 3 years. The fitness, it's kept me active. It keeps me healthy. It keeps me energized. It helps me keep up with my kids. And then the financial side of it, it's allowed me and my family to do things that I really thought I gave up when I left my career 4 years ago. And we've been able to just travel and be able to give and do things for us that I didn't think we'd be able to. So it's been a blessing in more ways than one, for sure. A lot of people are aware of a certain aspect of Beachbody, but not necessarily the whole big picture. So most people have at some point seen an infomercial. P90X, I think whenever the infomercial was launched, it was like the most popular infomercial. And similarly, when 21 Day Fix did come out in 2015, I think it was the #1 infomercial then as well. But Beachbody started more as a direct sales company. They had the Power 90, which was Tony Horton's first video, which if you're someone who has the on-demand already, you can scope out what that program was like and what Tony Horton was like 20 years ago. But it started with like things like Power 90 and Slim and Six and then the P90X that really took fitness by storm. And what happened was people were buying P90X. That infomercial sold people like crazy, but nobody did anything with it. I mean, I can vouch for that. We had P90X before our wedding 8 years ago. And I actually took one DVD out of the section because it was the shortest workout that was included in the program. And it was the only one that I liked. So I took that one program and my husband would do a couple of the workouts, but we never followed the plan. I remember getting emails about this coach that was assigned to us. And I'm like, who needs a coach? Like, we bought the program. We can follow a calendar. Like, who needs a coach to help you with this? And while we were customers when a P90X came out and then we continued and we bought Insanity, I didn't know that there was a business side of it. I wasn't interested. I can't even say that if I did know that I would have had any interest in it. I was one of those I can do it myself type of people. Chalene Johnson's Turbo Gym came out in 2006. And then finally in 2007 is when the actual Team Beachbody was launched. So it's been almost 10 years since the network was introduced. And it basically came in as a result of they realized that people were buying the programs that they put out there. Like, they could sell through their infomercials. But what happened was nobody actually got results with it because they weren't sticking to it. And Beachbody started these message boards just on their website, which some of them are still there. Actually, I have one of my greatest customers I actually found on a message board, which is a separate story. But anyways, they started these message boards and people started realizing that they could chat to other people, other struggles. And they created these kind of like accountability through the chat boards or chat rooms. I don't know what they were. And through that, Beachbody basically, because they like appointed, I can't say they necessarily hired them, but 40 people that started this network to become the founding coaches. And it started with those 40 people 10 years ago and has grown over the years to where we're, pushing 500,000 coaches today. So I think that one thing I often hear from people when I'm talking to them about coaches is they don't think they fit. They don't think they fit the description of what a coach could be or what a coach should be. And I think that it's just important to realize that you don't need to be any sort of expert or trained professional. Like I said, I have my degrees in finance and accounting. It has nothing to do with nutrition and nothing to do with fitness. It's more or less, and I don't claim to have the answers to that. What I have is experience. What I have is my journey, what I can share, what I've done to where I can share that with other people who may be relating to where I was or where I'm trying to go. So you don't need any sort of professional training in that. You don't have to be at your goal weight. I hear that a lot from my challengers. They'll tell me how much they love the accountability of the group and they would love to be able to share this with other people, but they're not there yet. They're not at a point where they can represent themselves as some Beachbody coach. And I just think it's important to know that you don't have to be at any certain point in your journey. And to be honest, it's an ongoing journey. It's ups and downs and all arounds, and it's not a one size fits all. And I think that it's important to be able to invite other people to do it with you. I'm not trying to give you all the answers, but I will walk beside you and guide you and mentor you. So coaches are normal people. I always say I was just a mom who decided to go for it, who saw other people who were doing it. And I was like, you know what, to be healthy for my family, to have the success from the business end, I'm going to do this. And I had enough reasons behind me and enough support through our team and the network that I decided I was just going to go out there and help other people. My goal is to inspire and to motivate people every day in some form or fashion. I do the workout programs. It's not to say that I won't, jump into a fitness class here and there. I tried one of those Pure Barre classes. Amazing class. Doesn't fit my schedule. I cannot take the time to drive and get a sitter and do a class. It was fun, but doesn't fit me. This fits my lifestyle. Being able to hit play in my basement for 30 minutes every day, to have to have a superfood meal replacement that I can shake and run out the door. I can sit down and blend and it takes place of the bowl of an ice cream that I would like to have at night, but I know I probably shouldn't. That's what I believe a coach is. You're leading by example and you're sharing your story and your passion, your heart to be able to inspire other people. The forefront of what we do as coaches is really running the challenge groups. I think that's what it boils down to. And when you think about, I've shared my own, I got started in a challenge group. It wasn't the business that drew me in. It was the opportunity to find myself again. But when I did, I was hooked and I've been able to help other people do the same. So coaches Coaches run challenge groups. That's kind of like the bread and butter of what we do. Now, you can do other things. It can open doors to other possibilities, but through these online fitness support and accountability groups is where, when somebody comes and, purchases something from you, it's not just a sale. That's a person whose life you are now there to guide and support. I actually noticed it when I was at the park today, and it's one of those, like, my daughter was playing, making friends, and I was just looking around, and there were so many overweight and obese people. And there was this one man who, I can't guess, but just very obese. And I watched him chasing after his son. And it was one of those, like, he couldn't go up the slide with his son. He couldn't sit on his lap. He couldn't go down this. And I was watching, like, this is where it starts, because those lifestyle that those parents lead ripples off to the children. And if we can help the adults, we can help the growing trend of obesity among the children. And for me as a mom, that's something that really weighs heavy on me. And I think that that's where we have so much power and potential, because 2/3 of US adults are overweight or obese, and 2 out of 5 children are. But we as a network together as coaches can be able to help those people to reduce those numbers. So I think there's a bajillion benefits of being a coach. Some of my top reasons and things that I love most is that you get to set your own work hours. This morning my kids went off to school, and I worked for a couple hours at home, and then I was able to shut things down and go pick up my daughter from the park, and I let my coaches know, like, I'm going to the park. So then I check out. We can do things, and it allows that flexibility. If you already have a full-time job, this is something that you can begin with 30 minutes in the morning, 30 minutes at night. It's at whatever pace you have to put into it. Your success in this business is going to depend on what you can put in. And I think that, the way you go about it, I have a coach who builds the majority of her business through speaking to people. Like, she just loves to get on the phone and talk to people. I'm someone who's built pretty much all of it through social media, through Facebook, really, where I can talk about it and type about it, and I can send you voice messages, but for some reason when I'm talking to someone face to face, not so much now. But in the earlier days, it was something that was harder for me. But it doesn't matter what works for me, it's what matters what works for you. And you have the ability to choose that and to find whatever it is that works for you and build it your way. It's you attracting your people, your network. My network is primarily moms who need an at-home fitness solution, who need to lose that post-baby weight, who are busy, who are trying to juggle, the mom-wife role and the, full-time career and everything else. To me, this fits that. And, depending on where your goals lie, in the beginning days, like, yes, I did not have another full-time job when I started this. I had already left my accounting field position when I started this, but I had 2 kids that I was fully responsible for. And after spending 6 years away from home, I'm now the one responsible for all the shopping, all the laundry, all the cleaning, and all that kind of stuff. So it was an adjustment, no doubt. And there's still, to this day, like, the majority of my work time happens at night. From 9 o'clock when this call started until 11, 12 o'clock at night, those are my work hours. But to me, it's worth it to spend those 3 hours in the evening working to have the day free to spend with my family. So it's all about whatever you want and whatever fits your schedule, your needs, and your goals. Some fun things that can happen with this business are what's called our Success Club trip. Actually, and we're at like 6-week countdown now, 7-week countdown. We're headed to Punta Cana this upcoming year. The other picture you can see on the slide was from the last trip we did, which was on a cruise ship. But these are something, I will say not everybody gets to go on these. These are not a guaranteed thing. This is not a congratulations, you joined Team Beachbody, now you get to go on a trip. These are a reward for reaching certain milestones throughout the year and reaching them consistently, not just a one-time deal. But if you can, I kind of came into this, like, I saw what other people were doing. I saw what my coach was doing. I saw the income potential, and I was like, you know what? I want that. I want what she's doing. So I listened and I did what I was told, and I sacrificed the sleep and I put the work in to be able to enjoy these trips and the recognition that they do. I don't know, you can see it behind me. That was that picture that they gave us last year at Summit, a big giant portrait of my face. But Beachbody is great on recognition, and just, to me, those little things really matter. It's decorated in my office. There's also opportunity to earn not just commissions. Yes, you earn commissions from people who purchase things off of you, but then there's also what's called team bonus cycles. So as you yourself can sell products to people, but once you build a team, that's where the true business side comes from it. And it's not just you bringing on people with challenge packs running challenge groups, but it's you bringing on people running challenge groups and bringing on new coaches and training them. That's one of the things that I offer to my team is that training. And, through building a team, that's where, for me, that's where the bulk of my income comes from now. It's the team cycle bonuses, not so much my commissions or my sales, so to speak. But one of the other things that I think above anything else is the learning and personal development. I've grown as a person so much in these last 3 years. Prior to beginning Beachbody, beginning coaching, I had only ever read like 3 books for pleasure. They were the Emily Griffin something borrowed something blue books that somebody bought for me when I was getting married. And then there was like 2 more books I think she came out with. And I now have a shelf full of personal development books. Some are business related. Some are just plain old life related. And when you can fuel your mind with positive energy and positive thoughts, it doesn't just pay off from a business standpoint. It pays off for your life, your outlook, your positivity, the way you view things, your relationship with your spouse, your family, your children. And that is something that doesn't come in a challenge pack box. And it's not necessarily something that I can teach you through a training group, but what you can learn through reading really great personal development books goes a really long way. And I think that above anything else plays a huge role and not something that I had really come across anywhere else throughout my life before this. So I've mentioned a little bit about our training group. So that's one thing that I offer to my new coaches. It's not something that you say, hey, I'm going to join your team. And I say, okay, thank you and good luck. I run various training groups. Right now we're doing a confidence and coaching series. I have my new coach training academy that I do on a monthly basis and just different team activities. Every quarter there is what's called a not coach summit. That's annual. Super Saturday. So Super Saturday is they're locally. So I think there were 200 events in January. So all over the United States, there would be one somewhere near you. I'm sure of it. Unless you literally live in the middle of nowhere. But chances are within a few hours of you, there's some event where it's just a way to take what we do behind the computer screen and bring it to life and get together with other people from your team or wherever it may be. I'll be honest, most of my team is not local because I have built this business through social media, through meeting people the way I'm doing now. Most of my team is not local. So our get together is more at those the Success Club trips that we go on or at our coach summit, this upcoming year coach summits in New Orleans. And yes, there are still tickets available to it. So you haven't missed the boat. And that was something I did when I first got started. When I signed up, I actually signed up to coach starting in March. And that summit was in June of that year. And I heard people talking about it. And if you're going to build this business, you're going to make it to the annual coach summit. So I made it work. I pulled together every resource I could. And that is where I really saw all these people that I saw, little squares of profile pictures on Facebook all come to life. And I was able to hear other people share their passion in the business and where they once were and where this business has taken them. And it opened my eyes to the potential. But I think it's important you realize that you can be a coach and your goals may not match mine, but you can still be a really great coach. We have what we call a discount coach, and it's someone who enjoys the products. So maybe you're signing up and you're gonna, get your Shakeology at a discount. You're not necessarily selling anything, but you're gonna save a little bit of money on your products. You might, get, I guess now we have on demand. For me, it was always buying those new products that came out. But you're just someone who loves just an advocate of the products and the programs. You can be a hobby coach where you have another full-time job, but this isn't what you're trying to make your sole focus of your life. But you enjoy sharing things with others. You may not be ready to really build a team, but you want to be able to earn a little extra income. So maybe you have some people join you each month in your challenge group and you do this more as a side hobby type of thing. And then we have what's called a business builder. And that's where you come into it, that you want this to be a true business, that you're willing to make those sacrifices now for the life that you're trying to work towards down the road. And you can be one of these to a T. You can be a combination of all of them. You can start out as one and go to another. I went through all of them. I was in it just for the discount and don't try to ask me to do anything more than that. And then I became a hobby coach, where it was just texting to my friends and family before I was like, you know what, I've had enough and I'm going to just jump in and go all in with this. So there's a lot of different opportunities and ways that you can go about building your business. But when it comes to joining, the number one way most people join is through a challenge pack. So right now, if you've seen, we have the Beachbody On Demand All Access, which gives you every single program. So I know I listed off at the beginning the many programs I've done over the years. I bought all of those programs at like $60 a pop. I think P90X and Insanity were both like $120 or 4 easy payments of $29.95 per the infomercial. But I used to buy all those programs, and now you can actually get all of the programs with your first month of Shakeology with the $40 sign-up fee waived, all for $199. And that's a promotion that ends at the end of March, or end of February. I'm sorry. It'll change March 1st. No, it doesn't. I lied. They were going to change it. They're not changing it. So it's $199. But then there's challenge packs that if you don't want the on-demand all access where you're digitally streaming them, you can pick different challenge packs for individual programs. All of those challenge packs would waive your coach sign-up fee. So whether you're in it for the discount, you're in it for the hobby, you're in it to build a business, or you're not sure why you're in it, but you're just here, signing up with a challenge pack is essentially the best way to get started. And then you can sign up with just Shakeology or just a fitness program, but you will be charged the $40 enrollment fee. So just something I always like to make sure people are aware of. And then we do have a military discount program. So not everybody is aware of this. And sometimes, if I know somebody personally, I'm able to be like, hey, you're active duty, like let them know. Or hey, you were a veteran, and I can let them know this. But just so that you are aware, anyone who is active duty military or a spouse of an active duty service member, those people, as well as a veteran. Now, with the veterans, it's not a spouse of a veteran. It's just the veteran themselves. So those three categories, active duty, spouse of active duty, and veterans, they can all sign up for free. So regardless of that $40 sign-up fee or $39.95. But they also get the monthly service fee waived. So I actually don't think I have a slide on that. I don't. So what the monthly service fee is it's a $15.95 fee, and then there's local taxes depending on where you are state. So I think like Pennsylvania is like $16.91, I think, or Texas is like $17.17 just because I have family in Texas. But that's the fee that you can kind of look at two ways. If you're a discount coach, that's the fee you're paying to get that discount. So it's still saving you about $15 on your Shakeology. So that's just the fee that kind of goes along with it. From a business end, that's the fee you're paying because they ship all your orders. You don't have to stock inventory. You don't have to manage with the customer service. Beachbody takes care of all that. And for that, there's that $15.95 or $16.91, depending on where you are locally, monthly service fee. And then that's waived with that military discount program. So it's pretty sweet. Like my sister's active duty. So she doesn't work the business, but she's a discount coach of mine. She doesn't pay that fee. So she pays $99.58 for her Shakeology every month. I'm like, you get that cheaper than I do. But hey, she put the work in. I think she deserves it. So you can think about, where you want to go to start up with. If you're not sure as far as a fitness program, or you're not sure if you can stream online, there is a trial of the on-demand. You can always try that to make sure that your internet can handle the streaming. But by all means, that Beachbody On Demand All Access is definitely something that gives you access to not only all those fitness programs, but there's so much more information on there with like the Fixate cooking channel. There's so much like the recipes that are in there, just great tips and stuff. So that is pretty much where I've been gearing my customers and coaches to, just because it is kind of like a full package deal. But regardless, at this point, I just ask you to kind of sit back and think. We've been talking now, almost a half an hour. So, think about what you like. Do you think this is something that you would want to do, that you would enjoy making this, whether it's a part-time deal or you're like, I'm not sure yet, or you're not sure, just think about it. And maybe you just want to stick as a customer, and maybe you want to see it if there's a little bit more. My next Coach Apprentice group will start on March 6th. So we've got 2 weeks, I don't know. I don't have a calendar. About 2 weeks until that gets started. I'm going to stop the screen share here. I can get out of here. I'll escape out. Don't see any questions. So is there anyone, you can raise your hand, unmute yourself. If you have any questions, by all means, feel free to ask away. If not, I appreciate you guys getting on tonight. Thank you. I'll post the recording for anyone who may have missed it, or if you need to share it with somebody who couldn't make it on. And I appreciate your time, and I hope you guys have a great night. Thanks for listening. Bye.